So Carl, tell me something that really helped you in college.
Well, in this one really tough math class, we would meet together in study groups, and it really seemed to help to explain difficult concepts to each other.
You know, I had this great study group for an anatomy class I had. You know, I'm still friends with some of those people. Let's look at how important study groups can be.
This short video is all about the importance of groups in college, working with others. There's so many advantages. So let's look at some advantages. One, of course, you've heard this before. You don't really understand something until you have to teach it. And when you're helping others in a study group, you can really see the kinds of things you understand and things you need more clarity on. Also, groups help reduce procrastination. If you're working on something together, the group depends on you, and so you don't procrastinate. We also find that studying groups helps to reduce test anxiety. You're all in it together, and you can share a little bit of that burden. Also, when we study together, we can learn new skills from other students. What are they doing? How are they studying? How are they being successful? So here are a few things for creating effective study groups. Well, one, ask your professor for help creating a study group. Pass something around in class, or maybe have the professor create groups on Canvas. Now, try to limit the group to around 6 students, but no more than 8. Discuss how each member of the group can contribute equally to the success of the group. And define roles, such as somebody organizes the groups, another is the facilitator, somebody takes notes. And you can rotate those responsibilities. Now, face-to-face is great, especially after the pandemic. Get together with your group, maybe even at a Starbucks. But you should also know the library has a number of rooms that you can reserve for your group to meet on campus. Now, there are a lot of really good apps to help your group, right? You have GroupMe and Google Meet and Zoom, although we've all done a lot of Zooming lately. So again, face-to-face is great. Studyverse, and of course, create a shared Google Drive where you can put different files that you can share within your group. Now, there's a number of websites that allow you to study with even strangers. Create groups from around the world. So study together. You can join this group and maybe learn from people in different parts of the world. Create a study group around an issue that maybe people from other places have some good insights about. This is another one called StudyStream Live, another place to form groups to study. Joining groups has many benefits. What we find is that when you're working together in a group, it helps to reduce stereotypes and prejudice about others. It exposes you to new ideas and different beliefs, and that's one of the great things about the college experience. You can learn from members in your group about other good classes and good instructors. And we also see what's called social facilitation, because sometimes we try harder when we're in a group. You study a little harder because you know you're going to get together with others and share ideas. And finally, it's just a great way to make friends. Some of the longest friends that you'll have in your life are people that you meet in college. Now, another benefit is dealing with emotions that people experience in college. So a recent Gallup poll asked about emotions people experience. Enjoyment was really high. College can be a lot of fun. But let's look at some of these other ones. Feeling stress, feeling worry. 39% said they felt loneliness in the past 24 hours. That's really tough. It can make college very difficult. So when you get together in groups, you're not only helping your own mental health, but you're helping others feel a sense of belonging. So in psychology, we call this the buffering hypothesis. It's the idea that social networks, social groups, friends, help us buffer against the negative effects of stress, and college can be very stressful. We know that social support reduces the risk of illness and speeds recovery time. But friends and social support can also reduce symptoms of psychological disorders, such as depression and anxiety. And this applies to the stress that we can feel in college. So here's a few things to be cautious about when it comes to working in groups. One thing is called groupthink. This is the idea that within a group, everybody agrees with everybody. Even in their mind, they might think, oh, that's the wrong answer, that's the wrong approach. We tend to want to agree with the rest of the members of the group. So watch out for that. Another is called group polarization. And this is the tendency for ideas to become more extreme in groups. If you get together with people who share some ideology, those ideologies may become more extreme when you're surrounded by other like-minded people. There's also the problem of what's called social loafing. And this is the case where individuals within a group might actually show less effort with the idea that other members of the group are going to pick up the slack. So make sure within your group you establish ways so that everybody is taking on equal responsibility and equal effort. Forming groups takes effort, especially lately. During the pandemic, we were all forced apart. And because of that, we saw an increase in rates of depression, rates of anxiety disorders, and many other problems. And so it's really important to now come back together and work in groups. It's so important for our health. We also, because of mobile devices and phones, we tend to isolate ourselves even when we're around other people. So we need to make efforts in social groups to put the phones down and talk to each other one-on-one. And finally, there's this thing called filter bubbles, which is where social media tends to put us into groups of like-minded people and prevents us from sharing ideas with people who are different from us in the way that we think, in our religion, in our political group. This can be kind of dangerous and isolating. So this is why getting together in groups within classes is so important. So study groups and doing projects together is great, but there's a lot of other ways of getting together at the university. There are sports clubs, there are science clubs, there are volunteer clubs. I highly recommend that you seek these out. Join these groups. It'll make the experience in college so much better. It'll create lasting memories for you, and you'll do better in your classes by having these social interactions. Remember, the best person to start a group is you. All right. Good luck.